Don't get me wrong, crossover content is cool. I enjoyed every bit that I've actually been able to experience. We all got cool things like the Dante Chargeblade, the armor set, this recent Resident Evil event brought sets, events, etc. But then we get to Horizon Zero Dawn. When they first brought it in, there was the alloy set, and I was fine with that. It wasn't game-breaking by any means. Still ridiculous that only a specific portion of the community was going to get to experience it and craft it. Then there's the bow that will only be able to be used by PS4 users. Definitely not cool. But with that, it was more of losing out on the fun factor, so I still wasn't too mad about that. And let me clarify. I know that me being a crybaby isn't going to change anything, but I'm surely going to bring the discussion to the table, because you all have extremely great takes, and I enjoy the discourse thoroughly. We come to the Horizon Zero Dawn crossover of this year, and this is where a line gets crossed that I knew Monster Hunter World was tiptoeing, but I hoped it would never cross. This is a 3-part, not one, not two, 3-part event that a select portion will be able to experience. We complain about things like not having unique weapon designs, and over we're told about not having the time, it takes so much time for assets to be generated, blah blah blah. But they have all the time in the world to make a 3-part crossover event that is not available to everyone who owns Iceborne. Those excuses seem a little long-winded to me now, but I digress. So right off the bat, you have another weapon that is exclusive to a portion of the community, but it doesn't stop there. This weapon will also be able to be upgraded to Rarity 12. But wait, there's more. You even get a specific and exclusive custom mod to make this thing even more powerful. So remember how they don't have time to make our weapons distinct?
You put a lot of thought into this. You bet.
But somehow they have the time to bring an entirely new mechanic to a single specific weapon. See, but that mechanic drains your health significantly, so it's too risky for most people to use. Well, Capcom was a step ahead of the game, so they decided to throw in another exclusive full armor set with very high defense and reduces greatly the amount of damage you take from that high-powered bowgun. All of this by itself is absolutely ridiculous and money hungry on its own, but there's still more. You know how the armor sets you get from event quests are cool, but it stinks because they're typically full armor sets? Well, they went ahead and tossed in another exclusive armor set that will be pieced and able to be worn separately from one another. Rounding out this laughingstock of a crossover event, you remember that bow that came in the first crossover? Yeah, you can upgrade that to further obscure Xbox and PC bow users' weapon selection. I truly feel bad if you're a bow or light bowgun user on Xbox or PC. PC users might get lucky enough for someone to mod something in, but Xbox users are pretty much left in the mud. I myself don't really use the light bowgun or bow very much in Iceborne, but this is all just so blatantly scummy that I feel for those who do. So yeah, Monster Hunter World has finally crossed into the greed territory that a lot of AAA games have gone into. Don't get me wrong, up to this point they've been pretty great with not over monetizing the game, and it still isn't bad, plus it's still an incredible game. But if this is a sign of things to come, I'm not as optimistic as I used to be. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I know it's a bit of a rant and this will probably get downvoted, but exclusivity in games is a plague of greed that does much more harm than it does good. Let's hope they catch the drift on this one and keep the exclusives to layered armor and some kind of layered weapon skin, because that bowgun having exclusive mods and that kind of potential power is ridiculous if you're going to keep it to one console. On a brighter note, I'm looking forward to Stygian Zinogre and what's to come from this update. This stuff I'll actually be able to experience, that is. Don't worry, we'll be back at it with the Horn review starting with Stygian Zinogre. Sadly, but unsurprisingly, the hunting horn was not one of the weapons that they showed off in the developer diary. I'm still committed to the goal of having every horn reviewed by the time Iceborne comes out for PC. If you liked the video, please do let me know with a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think of the Horizon crossover, and if you think I'm just being a whining baby about all of this. Subscribe if you haven't already for more Iceborne and hunting horn content. Have a good night, and happy hunting.